Welcome to this episode of Your Property Business, the video podcasts that help you get the most out of your own property business.
I mean, to be pretty brave to do that.
However,
I don't think many people would go for that one.
My dad had a Grade 2 listed Tudor house, so I was kind of familiar with the basics of it. He'd done a bit of work on it, and I'd helped him and stuff. But yeah, that was very challenging, very. The regulations are incredible. So I did that. However, me as an ad man, my wife was a fashion buyer living in the West End, moving to the countryside, living in an old house. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So unfortunately, we divorced. Okay. So at that time, I had a marketing agency. We got divorced. She went off. I finished the house, sold the house, but my mental health plummeted. I didn't see it coming. We've been together 30 years. Everything went wrong. The company I owned at the time, I messed up everything, and went into liquidation. And HMRC came after me and basically took all my money. Not all of it, but the vast majority of it. So I was in semi-retirement, and HMRC, the divorce and HMRC took the money. So then I'm in a really difficult situation. You know, I don't have the money to retire on. I'm 50. I've not got that long before I need to retire. And what am I going to do? And I don't know. So after a few months, I joined a meetup group, which is an online social meetup thing. And I found a group. I said, I'm not going to live in the countryside. I need to live a bit more urban. And the closest urban place I could get to and still get to my son's school was St Albans. Okay. And I don't know anyone there. So I joined this group called St Albans Sociables that like beer, wine and cocktails.
Okay, catchy title.
That's my group for me. So I joined this group, and I've never done anything like that before, but I just want to meet some people. Yeah. Turn up on the first night, and I stand there, and I'm very awkward, and I'm like, next to a guy called Richard Evans. Okay. He's on his first meetup. He's also divorced. Yeah. And we became friends, and through meetup we became very good friends. And then he launched Vavavoom, which is a company that supplies virtual assistants to property investors and property companies. Yeah. And we're away. I think we were in Brighton in a hotel somewhere, and we're having breakfast. And he said, "So you work in marketing? What do you think of this? This is my new company. This is our branding. What do you think of it?" I said, "That's rubbish."
How many seconds did it take?
Go down well.
So no, it didn't break it any gentler than that, no.
Yeah. And so I worked with him to rebrand Vavavoom as it is now. Yeah. And then at the end of that process, you know, we've got all these property people that we supply VAs for. Yeah. And quite often they say, "I was an individual, but now I feel like a company, so I need a name, a brand, and business cards and everything. What do you think about setting up a marketing agency for property people?" And I said, "Yeah, you know." And from where I'm at the bottom, I've bottomed out. I'm thinking, yeah, actually, that's a way out. I can make some money. I can, read life. Yeah. So then he says, "Okay, but we're doing property, so you need to know about property. So you need to go on the courses. You need to learn." So I did property CEO. I did.
Did you? Okay.
Co-living revolution.
Okay.
I'm on third year of property entrepreneur.
Oh, are you okay?
A property entrepreneur is the one.
Really
fantastic.
Really.
So I went on all the courses. I read all the books, Property Magic and all that stuff. I did Property Magic Life, Property Magic Foundation, I think it was, with Simon Zucci. So I went on all these courses to learn about the strategies that my clients were implementing. Yeah. And I came back and I said to Richard, Yeah, I don't actually need to know about these strategies. I need to do them.
Yeah.
So the education in property for my marketing agency actually made me into a better property investor.
Yeah, yeah.
So almost accidentally, I learned about how to be a more advanced property investor.
It's almost like an accidental property investor.
I've been doing it for 25 years.
Yeah.
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 When was the last time you employed? I'm sort of going back to that story, and that is some time ago. But the things that sort of spark your interest since then have been businesses, again, more entrepreneurial stuff, whether it's your marketing agency or whether it's, you know, working with Richard, or whether it's, you know, even more different types of property investment. It seems to be a common theme. There was a period of employment in your history and your career, but really doesn't seem to be much about that anymore.
No. So I worked from the late 90s until 2007. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't work for very long, to be honest.
No, I mean, in the scheme of things,
not property, but my entrepreneurial career started very young.
Yeah.
And I find that's quite common when I talk to property investors. They were doing stuff when they were young. So my family were really poor. And at school, I was in the playground. I looked and I went, he's got 10p in his pocket. He's got 50p in his pocket. How do I get that money out of their pockets and into my pocket?
Okay.
That was my thought process.
Okay.
They've got the cash. How do I get the cash into my pocket?
Yeah.
And I watched a program called Why Don't You Stop Watching TV and Do Something More Interesting Instead, which is a good title for a TV program. And I did what they did. So I went around the playground. I picked up the crisp bags that the kids had dropped on the playground, took them home, got a hole punch, put a hole in the corner of it, put it on a baking sheet, stuck it in the oven for 20 minutes, and it shrunk to about that size. Yeah. And then I sold them back to the kids that had dropped them as key rings.
Okay.
And so they were paying me 20p, 50p or whatever it was for the crisp bag that they dropped on the floor. And that was when I realized you could make money, not earn it. You can earn money by going to work, but you can make money by doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And property.
So, I mean, just going back to your career. So I think a lot of the people's aspirations tends to be, how can I get out of my job? Replace my income, get out of my job.